Capturing the Strait, Trump's master move against China. Section 1. What if Trump takes Hormuz? In the dim glow of the Situation Room screens on March 20th, 2026, a senior NSC briefer points to the glowing red line snaking through the Persian Gulf. Venezuela was the opening pawn, Mr. President. We have their oil fields, their gold, their rare earths, locked in under our interim partners. Now the board demands the next piece. The Strait of Hormuz. Section 2. 20% of the world's traded oil, a third of its seaborne oil, vital LNG cargoes feeding Europe and Asia, all squeezed through a 21-mile-wide bottleneck flanked by Iran on one side and Oman on the other. Tanker transits have fallen to near zero. Iranian Revolutionary Guard fast boats prowl, mines drift in the shipping lanes, drones buzz overhead. Insurance rates have spiked so high that most owners simply won't risk the passage. Global oil prices sit uncomfortably north of $95, and Asian refineries are already rationing feedstock. Section 3. The United States has responded with escalating air and naval strikes. F-35s and MQ-9 Reapers hammering coastal missile batteries, helicopter gunships sinking speedboats attempting to lay fresh mines, destroyers firing SM-6 to swat drones out of the sky. Trump's public line remains firm. No boots on the ground. We will open the strait with our allies, or without them. Kharg Island is the key. Take it, and Iran's leverage collapses. Section 4. Kharg Island, Iran's main oil export terminal, handles 90% of Tehran's crude shipments. Analysts call it a death trap for any landing force, ringed by anti-ship missiles, layered air defenses, and thousands of IRGC fighters prepared for urban and tunnel fighting. Yet Pentagon planners have quietly briefed a limited option: Marines and Special Operations Forces seizing a coastal perimeter long enough to clear mines, escort tankers, and declare the lane open. Not occupation of Iran. Just control of the chokepoint. Section 5. China watches from afar. Beijing has issued only the mildest diplomatic rebukes. No planned warships steaming toward the Gulf. No overt arms shipments beyond what was already in the pipeline. Just quiet intelligence sharing, spare parts for Iranian drones, and public calls for restraint and dialogue. The bet is simple. The proxy model works in reverse. Let the United States bleed itself against Iran the way Europe and America bled in Ukraine. Remote support is slow, coordination lags, resources arrive late or not at all. The direct actor, here the U.S., holds the initiative advantage. High casualties, spiking oil prices, angry voters, falling approval numbers. Trump's domestic polling has already dipped into the low 40s after 3 weeks of escalation. Body bags coming home in large numbers would be political poison. This content is brought to you by Bobby Giggs. Promote your brand here and reach a wide audience across platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Follow the links in the description to get started. Section 6. Iran is not Ukraine, though. Tehran fights on its own soil with motivated forces, pre-positioned weapons, and a coastline tailor-made for asymmetric defense. Mines, swarming small boats, ballistic missiles tipped with submunitions, the tools to make any limited U.S. landing extraordinarily costly. Yet the United States holds overwhelming advantages in air superiority, precision munitions, electronic warfare, and allied naval presence. If Trump greenlights the Kharg option and it succeeds quickly, even with painful but contained casualties, the payoff is staggering. Section 7. Oil prices crash back towards $60. Tankers flow freely again. Europe gets its LNG alternatives secured under American escort terms. Japan, South Korea, India, and Australia breathe easier. The Saudis and other GCC states, suddenly dependent on U.S. guaranteed export routes for their survival, food imports, raw materials, fall into line. Most importantly, China's energy lifeline, roughly half its imported crude routed through Hormuz, comes under American geographic veto. The geographic noose tightens. Beijing's quiet push for de-dollarization, gold-backed BRICS reserves, and BRI trade corridors loses credibility when the world remembers who really guards the sea lanes. Section 8. Victory would be a masterstroke. Midterms locked for the GOP. Trump framed as the president who stared down Iran, humbled China without firing on Chinese ships, and delivered cheap energy to American consumers. Legacy cemented. In the most audacious corners of supporter circles, private dinners, encrypted chats, late-night truth social threads, the whispers grow bolder. If he pulls this off, who needs the 22nd Amendment? Constitutional scholars might scoff, but the momentum of triumph has a way of bending institutions. And those lingering Epstein files? They fade into irrelevance under the glare of unchallenged American dominance. Shadows disappear when the spotlight burns this bright. Section 9. Of course, the gamble could fail catastrophically. A protracted fight on Kharg turns into another forever war. Casualties mount, oil stays high, inflation bites harder. Domestic outrage forces a humiliating stand-down. China and Russia, having expended nothing directly, emerge looking wise and restrained. The proxy trap snaps shut. The board is set. The pieces are moving. Kharg Island is the square to watch. The next weeks, perhaps days, will tell whether this is Trump's finest hour or the miscalculation that defines his second term. The Strait waits.